Welcome back to the Forward Factor. This is the sports podcast with a difference in that it's not weekly, it's not monthly. We don't even know how regular it is, but it's back. It's Tim with you, joined by Ben and Simon in the studio. Post World Cup. How are you feeling, guys?
Very good. It's just very, frantic, isn't it, at this sort of time?
Yeah.
Post World Cup. What do we do now?
Look for another meaning to exist and then realise we don't have one.
Pretty
I know Simon's repping some Granada FC merch right there, or Granada FA. What's that about, man?
Just got to represent. I've been representing England for the past 4 weeks, so I've got to represent the other side of the family.
Yeah, definitely.
Fair enough.
So you've got family in the Grenadines.
Yeah, from there, yeah.
Definitely. Do you think they were maybe underrepresented at the World Cup?
A little bit, yeah. I think Jason Roberts, do you remember the Wigan?
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, he used to play up front for Grenada.
There's a massive bombshell to start on. You know,
might be the
because you said Jason Roberts. Is he ex-Wigan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
So-
he play for Blues?
I think he might have played for Blues.
Oh,
But you know who is now a World Cup winner? Stephen and Zonzi.
I know, that's
Just
pretty crazy.
It's if you think of it like all the players who are not exactly deserving but now have won a World Cup. I don't know. I think France was quite a good one. But we're just going to run through, it's going to be quite a quick Forward Factor. We'll give you a rundown of our review of the World Cup, which is obviously the authoritative one. We've had the important people like the BBC, but now we're going to come in with a definitive answer, like the resolution to Avengers Infinity War. That's what this basically is now. And we're going to start with who we think the hero of the World Cup is. All my answers are quite English orientated because we can't get over the fact that football is not coming home this year, but is still going to come home at
The
some
thing
point.
is, we said it was coming home. We didn't say when.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Ben is right, and that's the attitude I think you have
Ben's
to take.
always right.
Ben is always right. So
Spot
football's coming home at some point. Who have you guys gone for? Hero of the World Cup? Who are you thinking?
Do you want... Okay.
Can you go first?
I
Go
will
on.
go first. Hang on. I need to
You
actually
need some time.
read and pronounce this guy's name. You go first.
There's a bit of a hefty crack on
See,
the screen of
Mine's
Simon's
mine's
iPad.
really left field.
Oh, right, okay.
Left foot.
What's
Okay.
this one?
Is it going to be like Italy or something? Would it even
It better
qualify?
not be. That'd be a dodgy one.
It took me a worrying amount of time to realise they didn't qualify. I was like, it's a semi-finals.
shame,
I was like,
though,
hang
but,
on a minute, we're at Italy. I'd forgot. I missed the part where they didn't qualify.
man.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that happened.
I want to go for Daniel Subasic of Croatia.
Okay.
Goalkeeper.
Also quite left field.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Why are you going to say that, you traitor? Since they beat
No,
us.
don't say that. Don't say that. I think dragging his country to World Cup final, 2 shootout wins against Denmark,
Yeah.
and who did they beat in the quarterfinals? Remind me. It's gone blank.
I have no idea. Russia.
Russia.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that penalty shootout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And against England, he was phenomenal as well. That save from Kane as well.
Oh,
That 1-0 from
it's
a
great.
2 yards
I mean,
out. He actually touched onto the post.
I do remember seeing that. Actually, I was
In
thinking
slow mo,
quality
he
save.
touched onto the post somehow.
That is
Unbelievable.
my
Incredible.
biggest regret from the World Cup.
Yeah.
That chance.
Yeah.
Kane should have. Well, he should have passed it to Sterling.
Yeah.
I've seen the freeze frames. It's gone viral, the tweet, like the freeze frame where he didn't pass it. We'll get onto it, but I think there was a lot of stuff like Harry Kane. Did he win the Golden Boot in the end?
He did,
Yes,
yeah.
he did. So,
Yeah.
as a Golden Boot winner, he wasn't that efficient as a striker, and that's kind of a weird thing to think about because
6 goals, 3 penalties, 1 with the back of his heel.
exactly
It wasn't.
the back heel one was quite good.
It was
He
alright,
did
It was
mean
wasn't
it.
a
Did mean
definite,
it.
definite
Definitely.
meant flick.
Genius.
So, who's your hero then, Simon?
Right,
Left
hang
field choice.
Let's go.
Milad Mohammadi.
Okay, who's he?
Right. So do you remember in the group stage, Iran are playing Spain?
Oh, I think I know where this is going. Yeah.
Right. They're 1-0 down. Iran are playing really well as well.
Yeah,
You're thinking
yeah.
they can get back into this. They have this throw in right near the box. They've
Yeah.
been doing these great long throws all tournament.
Rory Delap-esque.
And
yeah,
you're thinking,
incredible.
this is their chance. So our man Milad Mohammadi takes this throw in and decides to do this somersault and then
You've never
bottles
seen
it and just has to take it again. So if you haven't seen that game, listeners, where have you been?
You've been
and go and
man
like
like
YouTube
JK.
it
You need
right
to.
now.
Have you been?
Quit this video.
Show reel material. You've been framed. You could at least send that one in and get 250 quid off it. So I'm going to go for my hero. Mine's pretty right field actually, or centre field. I don't know. Jordan Pickford.
Yeah.
I think of all the England team, there's some debate over whether they were maybe quality or lucky, but Jordan Pickford, the saves that he was making, I think especially that role of England goalkeeper, usually so useless, so useless at a World Cup. Even I love Joe Hart, but he was useless at the Euros. And he had the ego, but it came to the penalty shootout and Pirlo just did him. But
yeah, wasn't that when he was doing that whole?
yeah, he was sticking his
yeah,
time out. He
yeah.
was, and he still got done. But Jordan Pickford had none of that bravado about him,
Yeah.
but just pulled off that incredible penalty save. And also,
Mhm.
you could argue that we wouldn't have gone into penalties had he not tipped it out for a corner anyway. But I think that long shot for Colombia was actually going in. So probably one of the best saves I've seen.
It was insane, wasn't it? Just
Yeah.
out of nothing, just unbelievable.
And also against Sweden, he was top drawer as well.
He was, yeah, 3 massive
Absolutely.
saves. So.
Top guy, Jordan Pickford. So my guy. On to villain. My choice is quite centre. I'll start out with mine this time. Maradona just swearing at the fans,
yeah, of
being
course.
generally an absolute
Yeah.
pest, as he is at the best of times. He gets my villain award. I was going to give my villain award to not a person, but a kind of an entity or a certain video element, which may come up later in this. This is a big clue at that. But I didn't. I think we'll get to that later. So Maradona is the villain for me.
Okay.
The worst thing he did, though, weren't all like the shouting, swearing, and all that. It's when Colombia played England and he wore a Colombia shirt after Argentina went out.
He's
I
just
mean,
like
what's he doing there?
unbelievably petulant. person.
Also, there's only one reason why he likes Colombia in the first place. And we're
What's
not going to mention what substance that is. Just saying.
Oh man, shots fired.
Yeah. Take that, Maradona.
Maybe if Argentina were better at shooting in that quality, they would have gone further in the World Cup. Just saying, Maradona. Is he your villain as well then, Ben?
He isn't, no. I'm going to go for Neymar for his.
I
his
can't believe I
antics.
forgot Neymar. Actually, I would have said Neymar now. I would agree with Ben.
But again, the only good thing that spawned from that was some great memes and great videos from
It
it.
just keeps rolling.
Yeah, I mean, just rolling down all those hills. So.
The cheese rolling. It was pretty embarrassing, to be honest. Simon, anything to top on villain of the piece?
Just ITV in general.
That's a fair.
They were, yep. Advert
fair
breaks.
Advert breaks. What was that studio?
No.
Like,
The
What-
thing that
what was going
blew
on
my
there?
mind is the BBC one, you know, where a match ended and it like
They flipped it round.
it's slowly panned out and it rotates and it's like a one-shot transition. I was like, I've done a live broadcast at the Ricoh Arena with Student TV, and like every fibre of my being, I wasn't even on tech, but I was just like, shout out Rob Bowler, who was the guy who was doing all the tech for me. I could just imagine he was a genius with green screens and stuff. His mind must have been like whirring when that happened. It was,
bizarre.
but no, ITV, not for me.
yeah. And Clive Tilsley does me head in. Glenn
Oh,
Hoddle
God.
does me head in. Roy Keane's just nuts.
I love that there's always, it's like World Cup tradition, the Mark Lawrenson hate squad comes out because he just sounds like he's hating life so much. He wasn't even on ITV, but
No.
I did enjoy that.
Yeah. He can kind of be with the ITV hate as well.
Yeah,
He
he's
should be.
part of it in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah.
Right, best moment, straight up for me. I was with you for my best moment as well, Simon, which was nice.
Okay.
England 6, Panama 0.
Ooh.
I don't care if Panama are a terrible footballing country and went into that game seemingly under the impression they were playing rugby. From some of those challenges, just watching England score 6 in a competitive game was pandemonium, Panama-demonium.
Come on.
And seeing it and the archway in Digbeth.
Yeah.
The video, there is video footage that I never got around to editing. I feel like, you know, we could have like a black and white, looking back now that we know football's not coming home. It's still worth seeing because it was just absolute scenes.
It was great. And I don't really buy the whole it was just Panama thing.
No,
'cause
no, because look,
In so many
we
times
failed to
before-
beat Slovenia before. We
Yeah.
beat them 1-0, drew with Algeria, or whatever.
Algeria,
Just
Trinidad and Tobago.
Exactly. So it's
Iceland.
no such thing. We lost to Iceland at the Euros, exactly, and we finished below Wales. So there's no such thing as like, oh, they're only
Yeah.
this level. So
Agreed. So yeah, that was huge.
yeah,
It could have been 10-0, but we just took our kind of foot off the
Yeah.
gas.
Took it
and
for-
Big time.
you know, kind of pity's sake more than anything. Best moments for you guys? What are you thinking?
I'm going to go for the shot win against Colombia. Just.
Oh man,
And not a drama.
That-
Like you're on it.
it
you're
was
on,
beautiful.
You're just on edge all, constantly from 9 minutes onwards.
Mm.
It was horrible, but then the best moment in the World Cup at the same time.
Yeah, I think
Like the relief at the end was fantastic.
what this England World Cup side has done has liberated so many of the kind of baggage from English
Yeah.
football
Mm.
in my lifetime, genuinely in the 21st century, because it was since the 1990s we started losing all those penalty shootouts. So even though we didn't win the World Cup, the kind of the tick boxes, the hoodoo that we overcame, that 6-0 win, and also winning on penalties, it was just such a moment to be in.
And you just never know how big that's going to be now. But
Exactly.
next time we go into
Yeah,
a
well,
shootout,
that psychologically could be massive. And also, walking home, I saw it in Moseley. I can't remember which pub at, but it was amazing. And I walked home and just seeing like people leaning out of car windows going past, blaring like
Yeah.
the party atmosphere. That's what the World Cup's all about for me. And
Were they stopping cars down the road like they were for me?
Were they what?
Stopping cars as they came up the road.
Oh my days! There was not quite like barricading, but in Moseley, which is quite a civil place normally, it was like cars were just blaring their horns going past, cheering at fans. Fans were cheering back at them. It was a beautiful time to be alive. So, what you saying for best moment?
Best moment. I'd probably go for a different England game. I'd go for the Sweden one.
So we basically got like 3 different England games.
Yeah.
We're impartial. It's cool.
There you go. I mean, A for the scenes on Broad Street, which I'll get to in a bit. But I think just there was the sense of like, it was a quarter-final, which is kind of, I know it was just Sweden, but that has been our limit for so long, for our generation particularly. So to have won so easily as well.
It was easy, wasn't it?
At that stage was just like, it was such a huge deal. And I think it was probably the first time where I kind of felt everyone feel that something might be happening, which is ironic because actually that was the point that then we kind of lost.
They died
Yeah,
off,
it was
yeah.
like
I think there might be something linked to those two. But yeah, anyway, Broad Street, right?
Broad Street, right? Yeah.
After the game, so we'd got like watched it by the canal.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
kind of got locked out of this beer garden because there was too many people in. So we were like climbing on this fence trying to watch it.
As you
That's
would.
a whole other story.
That's a story for another day.
But anyway, Broad Street.
Yeah.
So everyone's kind of stood outside walkabout, singing and doing all the England's going to win the World Cup business.
Yeah, yeah.
So all the traffic is like going off down another road. It's fine. But this bus decides, no, I'm just gonna try and go through the crowd.
Yeah.
Bad move for the bus.
Unlucky.
Bad
Right.
move, bus.
So then loads of fans climb up on top of this double-decker bus and just start dancing around. Great scenes. And at one point, I was pretty sure this woman was going to fall off. She didn't, thankfully.
Oh my God.
Would have been an amazing crowd surf or potentially a quite big disaster. But yeah, it was just, again, that great moment of the World Cup kind of bringing everyone together.
Brilliantly. Brilliant. And I don't want to bring the mood down or anything, but like, just for like the worst moment in the World Cup for us. Very quickly, I'm going to say Croatia knocking us out. That was horrible. I saw it in Brighton, which was nice because I was on holiday with my girlfriend, so it was kind of very difficult to be really like down about it because it was the start of it. But at the same time, everyone was like lining up on the side of the seafront, and there was a crowd on the beach and a big screen. To have all that positive emotion and to score first, I also missed the England goal because we were looking for somewhere to watch, and it was a massive walk down the seafront to get to the screen from where we were staying. So all I literally saw was England concede 2 goals across 120 minutes. Do you think it would have gone our way if it had gone to penalties, or just been?
I have a feeling it would have done because they had 2 shots before that. I think it would have worked in our favour.
Because I think the confidence is there, but equally, if we'd lost that on penalties, it would have ruined us.
Yeah,
It would have undone all the good
works
work.
both ways, doesn't
Yeah,
it? So
completely. That was my thought going into it, that actually if we lost on penalties, it would have just been back to square one a little bit. So I'm glad it didn't get to that point. And like we were saying earlier, I think the big regret for me from that was in the first half when we looked so comfortable and we had all those chances.
So complacent.
It
Just
was
again,
a bit too much like Tunisia rather than like Panama, and that we weren't very clinical with it. But it was a really weird one. I was on E4 whilst it was happening.
Oh, really?
Oh no!
Which is a really
So
weird situation.
are you kind of like obliged to do live updates at that point, or do you can you just not talk about it?
You kind of reference it, but in a kind of jokey, like no one's watching.
But I think that is the thing. I remember because I've been doing some stuff at like Radio 1, and they were saying like, no, we know for this show that no one will be listening. So do you notice like figures just go like straight down when there's something like a World Cup on?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I don't really take any notice of the figures, to be honest. But
it's not really relevant, is it?
But I'm sure, yeah. Like, I mean, it was like 26 million people watching that.
yeah.
It's and ITV were milking it. This is another reason why ITV are actually the true villains of the piece, because they were all like, "Oh, we've got 25 million views." I'm like, well, it's the World Cup. You could basically have filmed it on a potato. It's still like the only thing that people can watch it for. So it was pretty good for that. Worst moment for you, Ben?
I'm going Croatia again. It's a bit of a theme here. So when they won against Denmark on penalties.
Okay.
So obviously Schmeichel kept Denmark in the game. Extra time, saved that penalty from Modric. He saved 2 more penalties in the shootout, but still ended up on the losing side. So just heartbreak for him, really, more than anything.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am starting to worry. Maybe you're a Croatia fan though. You're talking about him quite a lot, Ben.
I really do. Just like like an Amora in the background kind of thing. So.
Yeah, just something to have in there. Right, starting to reach the final few, I guess, not awards, but World Cup wrap-ups we can do. Best player, I'm going to go for my boy Eden Hazard. Because...
Should have known.
It was just clear that he was the best player at the World Cup. No, Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard. France were the best side, no doubt.
Yeah.
Rightful winners. However, there were times when Eden Hazard did things, not goals or assists, because Hazard's kind of, he's above that sort of player. He's above the goals and assists. He's kind of more, he's more about the spectacularly beating one or two players in flamboyant fashion per match. And he's really my kind of player for that. I think it was, he turned someone in the France game and just humiliated them, which is quite good.
This is unbelievable too. I can't quite believe my ears.
Why?
Eden Hazard.
Yeah, he's good. Best player.
He's good.
Well, who would you say, Simon or Ben?
I mean, the two obvious ones were Modric and Mbappe.
Yeah, that's what I've gone for as well. So.
Yeah. I don't think Modric is that good. I didn't see much from Modric. I mean, I didn't watch many Croatia games.
The way he scored England in that semi-final, he tore us apart. Simple as that.
It was good.
I was saying the Perisic goal in the World Cup final was the one that caught my mind.
Fantastic.
Have you seen Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah.
Sexier than the sex scene in Wolf of Wall Street. That was the way I described it on Instagram. Yeah, yeah. Just Margot Robbie and Leonardo DiCaprio and that. Yeah. Hey, moving on. Who's your best player then, Simon? Were you saying the same, Mbappe or
who will
Modric?
Those two.
Not Griezmann.
No.
I just like Griezmann as a player. He didn't do that much, to be fair.
No.
Scored a few penalties, but
yeah. I would probably go. I mean, also Kante, very underrated.
Yeah, he was quite peripheral in that role.
But I'd probably go Mbappe.
Just for the fact that he's 19 years old and France were looking to him so much. That goal he scored, I think the third or the fourth, is genuinely probably the best World Cup final goal I've ever seen. Certainly live. I think World Cup finals have been a bit underwhelming before, but I was watching that move build up and I was sort of thinking, oh man, okay. I was like, okay. And then it came to Mbappe, dropped to him. And the way he just lashed it in, it's so satisfying when you watch a move build up like that. And I think the reason I get frustrated about Barcelona is because they pass it in these amazing ways, but then they don't finish it. Whereas it was like watching Barca and Man City combine at their best.
Yeah,
and Mbappe just there to
Barcelona don't finish it. That's controversial.
I think they get too caught up in passing it. They're not direct enough. Because I like Premier League direct football, like Man City play.
Right.
They don't mess about with it. Whereas Barcelona, I feel mess about with it a bit too much. Just over need the dough.
I think you might be getting Barcelona and Arsenal confused there.
Arsenal even more so.
but yeah, I mean that was the other thing about the final is that we've had so many, not just World Cups, Euros as well. Probably certainly the last final, but since. I mean, even the Zidane headbutt final, which was great for so many reasons.
Oh, okay, that was
drama,
funny.
That
was
the biggest drama.
Yeah, it was still 1-1.
Yeah.
We just haven't had goals.
No, we haven't.
You never do.
So we've had goals now.
And so it was great. I mean, 6 goals. And I thought Croatia were the better team for a good majority of the game.
Definitely got first.
And it was just France just scored at sort of the wrong time, really. And
big time.
I guess there's always and some people saying an element of luck maybe in a couple of the French goals, lenient decisions, and obviously
especially the Pogba one as well.
And hey, this is a perfect time to get onto it. VAR or VAR. Yes. We've had the first World Cup with VAR in action. I am very firmly VAR because genuinely, the standard I had to take with it was how annoyed would I have been as an England fan if we were in the final and that penalty was given against us, and I would have been furious. I think the problem is football as a game, you're not meant to micro-analyse decisions in that way, but that is basically what ended up happening. So if you're half an inch offside, you're not gaining an advantage from that, and football was never meant to be, the offside rule was never meant to be enforced in that way. But now VAR is making everything sort of subjective but can be enforced in a micro-analytic way, and just messing things up, I think. Feel free to disagree with me.
Football decisions are generally not black and white, are they? And
no.
The ones that they're kind of reviewing aren't particularly. I thought it was quite fun, to be honest.
There were fun points. I think in the earlier stages there were, especially who was it, with Japan sending Germany home? Was it? South Korea sending Germany home. That was when it was VAR was used to make sure the right team went home. But then I feel that's a case of making sure that there's a better way to enforce it. I don't know, making sure that your linesman and referee don't make stupid calls. I don't know.
I thought for the most part, apart from the final one, which again at the time, I thought it was a
Did you actually
penalty.
agree with it?
Because because like I was kind of thinking from the point of view, if it had happened against England.
So you're thinking the opposite to me. Would you have wanted a penalty?
Yeah, we'd have screamed for that, wouldn't we? Big time.
But apart from that decision, and then there was I think it was Portugal-Iran game where it just kind of descended into absolute farce.
Yeah.
Which was funny because it was Portugal and Iran, and no one was really bothered. But for them, I mean, those two teams both could have gone through, so it was quite a big deal.
Yeah.
But apart from those two moments, I think it's been fine. I think it's
your VAR.
Most of the decisions have
So
gone.
you'd want to see it at another World Cup and maybe properly in the Premier League as well again?
Not necessarily. Like, I'm not like definitely
Massively
for
pro
it.
Kind of in the
but
middle.
it was just I don't see what was wrong with it.
Soft Brexit, right? Soft Brexit.
Soft Brexit.
Yeah.
Brexit means Brexit.
Brexit means Brexit. Sorry, Boris Johnson. You can retire all you want. We're fine with that. Well, not retire, resign. I don't think he's retired.
Yeah, sadly.
Anyway, final point. England's World Cup. I guess the biggest talking point. Were they lucky, or I say were we lucky, or were we genuinely like the best England side that has been at a World Cup in a very long time?
Definitely,
in terms of like as a team.
Definitely the latter point.
Yeah.
I think without a doubt, second youngest team in the tournament, our youngest team we've had for years, and they've gone there without any expectation, and have excelled massively.
Mm.
And all the talk about the teams that we beat being just below par teams.
Yeah.
That's sort of, I think that's giving praise to us in terms of how good we are, because lots of Sweden people dismissing them as a team when they stopped Italy from going to the tournament in the first place. They knocked out Germany in the group.
Yeah.
They are a good team, and other than maybe Panama, like Tunisia,
Panama is like
the way teams set up against us, I think they showed us respect in terms of we're a threat. They wanted to defend and counter-attack us, but I think the way they turned up and just gave their all, and they're class of shit, heroes now.
Yeah,
for many of us. Which
Harry
is
Kane will be the most common name for children. I'm going to call my firstborn child Gareth, even if it's a girl. Gareth's going to be a great girl's name in 2025.
As well.
Yeah, mini waistcoat.
It's back in
waistcoat sales. M&S owe him a lot.
Yeah.
I think. It makes me proud to be English again. I nearly said proud to be British there for a second. Obviously, Wales and Scotland could.
Brexit, right? Just try and get that in.
Yeah. Do you think lucky or well-deserving, Simon, of a semi-final?
You don't get lucky and come to a World Cup.
It's true, isn't it? That's what I was saying.
It's so true.
Physically impossible.
If you look at the underwhelming quality of sides that we've absolutely flopped against with our golden generation before, it's very unfair to write off a team for actually doing what they should be doing against them.
Yeah, definitely. It's the way they did it as well, for the most part. I mean, the two group stage games that we won, that kind of last-minute winner that felt like previous teams would have probably have got to a point that
that's what I agree
were kind of too scared to lose or whatever. Then like we talked about, the Panama kind of demolishing, the penalty shootout, and then being really comfortable in a quarter-final. And just the kind of whole style of the team, that's been really exciting. And to think we could have had Sam Allardyce.
Oh god, oh my god. I'm going to wake up screaming at night about Sam Allardyce for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
What reason?
No, I'll expand on that. That's another one for another day. My family was killed by Sam Allardyce when I was just a child. It was like my Batman origin story.
We really need to get over like Sam Allardyce and Steve Bruce and all that generation of managers.
I think they're
just leaving behind.
They're just like
dinosaurs.
The worst thing about Steve Bruce was how quickly he went back into another job, and how evident it is because of that what he was doing is really common. But because no one internally cares about it, like the passing of information or backroom deals. Anyway, just to cap off the podcast, I was playing some countdown music before writing down notes, and we were really enjoying it. So I'll tell you what, I'll play like the countdown music to get you both in the mood. And you've got like 30 seconds to add anything you want to add to the World Cup.
Okay.
Right.
Say stuff.
First, go on.
Okay, so pundit of the tournament, Jurgen Klinsmann. Obviously.
Really?
Yeah. I just think he's great. What do you
I said like Gary Neville or Ian Roth, just for his just
got like 10
laughing.
seconds.
It's fantastic. Okay, last point. The win against Tunisia, I don't think people realise how big that was in terms of rest of our tournament.
Amazing.
I loved a bit of Senegal.
A bit of Senegal. Chicken doy. He didn't score against England. Yeah. We had a fun World Cup.
Yeah.
This has been the Forward Factor with your World Cup dates. The last one.
Hey, that was good.
The World. I like World Cup date. It's a great pun, and sadly we can't use it for another 4 years. It's going to kind of suck.
4.5 years.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's tough,
Winter
man.
World Cup.
Qatar, man. What a great country. Am I right, guys?
Love them.
Yeah,
love you guys. Qatari Airways or whatever it is. We definitely haven't been paid off or anything like that to say that.
I know.
I wish we were big enough to be
if
fair.
you're listening, Qatar Airways, sponsor us.
Sponsor us, please. Send us nice things. Peace out. See you everyone next week.
Bye.
See you later.